All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am not going to sing along with the rest of that song, even if it is my favorite Van Halen song of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Little Guitars from the Diver Down album. And we are fucking tired of 2020. 2020 needs to stop. This is bullshit, and I'm calling shenanigans. They have now come for my teenage years. And that's not okay. That is not okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're dedicating tonight's show to the ever-loving memory of Eddie Van Halen. I think it's a strong argument. The greatest, for sure the greatest hard rock guitarist of all time. Certainly the most influential. And possibly one of the greatest guitarists of all time. We're going to start off with our beverage update. We're going to hit this hard and fast, even before we do introductions, because I want that music to be in your heart and in your mind as we do this. Tonight, John, I'm drinking Kraken Black Roast. People have asked for this one over and over again, so we pulled out something very special. I found it. First place I've ever found it is in this liquor store here in Racine, finally. We're going to pour some out. As I pour it on the ice, it looks literally like motor oil. Like, not good motor oil either. Like the motor oil that's been in your car for like 100,000 miles. And so, John, what are you having for a beverage tonight?
Well, mine also involves Kraken. I'm having a dark and stormy, which is Kraken ginger beer and some lime juice.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I'm actually using Reed's Craft ginger beer.
Very nice.
That's extra gingery.
Very nice. Well, you know, the hotter the ginger beer, as far as I'm concerned, the better off you are. So, on behalf of the co-host with the most, I'm Menoth John. Hey, Ron, Eddie Van Halen.
Ron.
I want the camera to pick this up. This looks green. Okay, this is odd. Okay, so let's talk briefly. First off, welcome to the Wednesday Night Extravaganza. I'm Menoth John. You know me. If you didn't know who the fuck I was, I'm not sure how you're here. And of course, up in the catbird seat over there, you know him, you love him. He's the one beneath my wing. He's the mighty right hand of the podcast, Mr. John Spencer.
Hey-o. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. Welcome to Legionnaires. Welcome to Talcazar. Hey, Ron, to you guys as well. So let me talk a little bit about this liquor, because I think I'm very quiet. Son of a bitch. There, how about this? Is this better? Is that quite a bit better? I hope so, Kathy. So let's a little talk.
Also, we're not sure which your was very quiet because she didn't justify.
So
there's two Johns.
Okay, now it sounds good to Legionnaires. Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about this fucking drink. It's not bad. It definitely pulls in the coffee direction. I'm still quiet.
No, he's actually only on a one speaker. That's why he seems quiet.
Yeah, I've never figured it out because I ran out of wires
feature,
or something.
Not a bug.
Yeah, for sure. The Black Rose Coffee Rum is a limited edition. It definitely pulls coffee. It's the blackest thing I've ever seen. I'm not sure if they didn't just dump a pot of Thamar Black in here. It does contain FD&C Yellow number 5, however.
Interesting.
I mean, not sure why they had to dump yellow into it, but whatever. It's all good.
It'll always be too black.
It's very smooth. It's extremely drinkable. It's way smoother than regular Kraken in respect to
exactly a challenge.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, like an unpaved road is smoother than regular Kraken.
Regular Kraken is I know I'm alive shot. I want to take it. I like the taste, and I want to know I'm alive.
Yep, I don't disagree. And it's damn snappy in orange juice.
Oh yeah,
making it a fine force blow. But I don't know. I'll drink this bottle, but I'm not going to reach for it again. Is one directional, so your mouth has to be aimed right at. Yeah. Well, you know, I when I put this system together, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. This is just the microphone that. God, the guys are from Minneapolis. the hell were they called? What was the name of their podcast? The one with Nigel and
Focus and Fury.
yeah, Focus and Fury. They're the ones that recommended this microphone. It's got great sound. It's just as you say, when I do as I want to do and walk away, you most certainly do get the effect of
Also,
all
remember,
that.
Kathy, he got that back in the dark ages, before podcasting was the thing to do.
Indeed. Hey, by the way, John, we did pick up a new follower today on 14 days ago on the Twitch, and it's significant.
Okay.
As you guys will remember, I've probably told the story a handful of times of how I got into podcasting and all that kind of stuff. And one of the real influences on me was a show called Geek Nights. And Geek Nights, they were podcasting 5 days a week, 4 or 5 days a week back in the day. And there are a couple of IT guys. One's computer science, the other guy's IT, from Rochester Institute of Technology. And one guy's name was Rim, and the other guy's name was Scott. And I don't know what Rim was short for. Maybe it's just Rim. I'm not judging. But Scott happened to be on Twitch the night after our last show. And I tuned into his channel. I was the only person watching him. And he was doing he was exercising. He had his bicycle set up on a thing that was picking up, it was a Bluetooth resistance device. So that as he pedaled, it was generating a signal, sending it to his phone, and then he had his phone hooked up via the Wi-Fi into his computer. So it was looking like on his monitor that he was biking in the Swiss Alps. And he and I were chatting along, and it was really nice to actually, and he and I had a one-on-one conversation about 10 minutes via chat. One of my legends, one of the guys that I really looked up to and helped me to understand what good podcasting could be like, and who gave me a lot of tips and tricks to help make my podcasts over the years not sound like ass. Because we have never sounded like ass. We may have had some technological issues occasionally.
We have never recorded multiple episodes on a laptop mic.
Never. I mean, even back in the old days when I was at my kitchen table, the sound wasn't good. I guess that was kind of ass. But anyway, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But it
was on Ustream or whatever.
Yeah, back in the Ustream days. And but anyway, so it was Scott. If you're watching this either now or in post production, welcome. I am very, very happy to be here. And as I said, you couldn't be a bigger legend as far as I'm concerned, because you and Rim were animals, doing 4 nights a week and doing, they had a different topic. They're the reason we have a set format. And they'd have their beginning part, they'd have a topic for the day, they'd have an end part. And that is where Painting with Men Off John got its inspiration for. And and if you look at good podcasts, that's been something that's been copied and replicated across lots of. Now, maybe they invented it. Who knows? Maybe they didn't. Doesn't matter. But they sure inspired me, along with the D6 generation, to create Painting with Men Off John. Originally Lost Hemisphere Radio, and then Painting with Men Off John later. But anyhow, yeah. So I thought that was really cool. Topic.
Ron.
Hey, Ron. Yeah, for sure.
Wait for you to get done so I get the proper toast there.
No doubt about it. Sorry about that. All right, so tonight, folks, we're going to cut this one a little bit short. We're going to keep it to an hour tonight. And the reason we're going to do that is because tonight is the night of the vice presidential debate, or as I like to think of it, the evisceration of Michael Pence. So, as it turns out, Ms. Kamala Harris is a prosecutor. And Pence is a certified snake. So we're going to see how all this works out. I'm probably going to, after the show, no, it starts at 8 o'clock Central Time. And it'll be 90 minutes long. I think. I don't think that's going on right now. I haven't had enough push things on my phone for it to seem like it should have started. Anyway, I want to urge folks, if you have the time, take a listen. This is a consequential vice presidential debate. And I will tell you this because one of the candidates is 74 and the other one's 77. So there is a good chance in a democracy such as we have that one of these two people could be the next president.
Sure.
And we've had some opportunity to see Kamala Harris. We've had less opportunity to see Michael Pence. We haven't seen Mike Pence since something called Kane went up against him back in 2016. And that was like bringing a knife to a gunfight, because I'm sure Mr. Kane was a fine gentleman, but he had all the flavor of vanilla Tums. I mean, he was bland. So Kamala,
All I know is Mike Pence did not manage to pray away COVID, so he's a
No.
failure in my books.
There is a lot. She could just stick to COVID and simply rip him limb from limb. It was his task force, and 200,000+ people are dead. Why? Because the guy doesn't have a single bone in his entire goddamn body, and he won't stand up to his frickin' ridiculous Mad King president that he works for. Well, you know what this country needs, John? More Jamie Lannisters.
I was going to say, to paraphrase the Joker, this country needs an enema.
No, that too. And it needs an enema and Jamie Lannister. Hell, why not both?
That's a Game of Thrones joke. I don't get it.
Jamie Lannister killed the Mad King.
Ah, very good. Good job, Jamie Lannister.
Yep. That's why he was called the Kingslayer.
Ah.
And anyway,
Did
so
someone get my hand while doing it?
you know,
It's a book joke. I know he lost a hand.
yes, he did. I was reacting to Legionnaires. I've already made up my mind. I don't need any heartburn. I get it.
I agree. I'm not going to watch because, as far as I'm concerned, there's no choice in this election. You're either voting for racism and bigotry and hatred,
Evil,
and evil and anti-scientificness, or you're not. And it bothers me that I'm so polarized on this, where I'm willing to, tell people, no, I don't want to hear your opinions anymore. If you're voting for them, go fuck yourself. I'm done.
No, I get it. I get it completely, guys.
I hate that I wished death upon a human being for the first time in my life, like legitimately. It bothers me a little bit.
Well, I didn't get my wish because I went on a fairly detailed diatribe on Twitter, where I said that I did not wish death upon Trump for the coronavirus, for him with him being infected. We're gonna switch over to the painting cam. What I wished for him was suffering. And I wanted him to suffer in the way that I suffer. I wanted him to sit in his bed, and I wanted him to wonder if this was what was going to take him. I wanted him to think about all the people who had suffered and lost loved ones and who would never see their people again because he's decided that his electability was more important than getting the information to people so that they could live.
The fucking post office had a plan to send multiple masks to every family in the U.S.
And he shat
They
on it.
shot that shit down.
Yep. And
that's like the tip of the iceberg. That's like not even the half most evil thing he did.
And
it's a damnable thing.
And I absolutely look upon, and I wanted him to come out the other side, and I wanted him to be a changed individual. As it turns out. That's
so positive, man. That's inspiring, actually, because that takes more than I could give.
And it turns out I couldn't have been more wrong.
Oh no, he's even lying. He didn't have COVID. Either he didn't have COVID, or he's fucking being the most irresponsible human being on the planet. Maybe both.
Well, I mean, why not both?
Yeah, why not both?
If he, I think he had it. I do believe that he had it. I do believe that I do believe that the cocktail that he took, that literally no other human on this planet has available to them. I think it worked pretty well. I will tell you also that he shows signs of it having hit his lungs really hard.
I've seen that. I mean, I just wouldn't put it past him to act that shit up.
No, nor would I. But I do believe that he actually had it.
Yeah, well, he needs to go. I mean, I'm done. Well, fuck him. How about that? Fuck him. That's where I'm at.
That's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, it's bullshit if someone fucks with your career advancement income. I mean, I'm lucky to never have had a boss like that, but I've seen it at a couple places, and I've had to stand up for it once or twice for other people, and because it's just the absolute most bullshit. Someone doesn't like you, and they're like, you're not going to get advancement, and they're gonna fuck with you. That's bullshit.
Yep. So, I mean, the reason I will watch tonight is because, first off, I'm a little bit of a political junkie.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
And I want to see. I want to see a debate that's actually a debate.
Yeah, I mean, for all of Pence's flaws and the thought that he will probably just get continually slam dunked upon, it will be coherent at the very least.
Yeah, it will not be what that other thing was.
Yeah, that was a fucking travesty, and fucking, I love the fact that they're like, let's just make it so that the moderator can turn off microphones. I'm like, you didn't think of that beforehand?
Yeah, but then the Trump camp said no, we won't agree to that.
Well, go fuck themselves.
So
they're the ones who are fucking hogging up the mic. I mean, come on, you got Biden riled up enough where he was just like, "Oh, shut up."
Yeah, and it takes a lot to get Grandpa Joe that worked up.
Because it was bullshit. I mean, that wasn't a debate. That was fucking. I don't know what that was. It was fucking incompetent. I don't blame the moderator. You can't stop that guy.
No.
I blame the people who organized it and didn't think that it was going to be like this. Because a mile away, I could tell you it was going to be something like that.
Yep. So anyway, folks, if you're paying attention to the painting, I hope you are. I mean, it's the MacGuffin of why this show exists.
No, I mean, look, I'm putting paint on models. I'm dry brushing bases, but
that counts, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them all to the same point. I got half of them done last night because I was doing something else. This wall, it turned out actually really good. I'm really impressed with this simple job on this wall.
But I'm painting Sir Dryfuss. He's essentially a Signar model. I mean, his backstory is kind of hilarious. He's not really a Signar guy. He's just found the armor and put it on.
Okay.
Which makes him 100% more likable.
Shit. Let me ask you, are Signar the least likable, quote-unquote, good guys in this sort of fiction?
Likable good guys. Well, first off, okay, I'm going to agree with you. Yes, they're not, but there are no good guys in the Iron Kingdoms, except maybe the trolls.
They're ostensibly the good guys. There's a faction that always is. These are the quote-unquote good guys. The Federated Sons of Battletech, ostensibly the Imperium of Warhammer 40k, but that game even less has good guys. There's always a faction like, these are the good guys. The Pan-Oceania of Infinity. There's always, like, the good guy faction, where they're always written as noble and heroic and all.
Yeah, I mean... I think
the Empire of Warhammer Fantasy. There's always a faction that's written to be the good guys because everyone needs that. There's people who just need that, and some people need the bad guys. But I'm usually gravitated towards the good guys. And I played Signar for a while, but as you get more and more to their fluff, man, they are maybe the least likable, and also, I'll be honest, the most fucking Mary Sue of good guys ever. Fucking Haley is the most Mary Sue that ever did Mary Sue, for fuck's sake.
Fuck Mary.
Haley 3's fucking backstory was legitimately the worst backstory in the history of War Machine and Hordes.
Fuck, I don't even remember that backstory.
She went through time and cured herself, and now she controls. It's just bullshit. Like, wow, can you marry Suhuri anymore? But that was sort of a let's call it a feature of the system. They weren't going to kill off characters easily, so they had to write their way out of everything they did. I think we blame just purely the mechanics on the fall of War Machine Hordes, but honestly, the story becoming not the main factor when they stopped doing the source books to progress the story.
Yep.
That's a big factor too.
Agreed.
Because up until about Wrath, we're like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let's see where this shit's going. And then after Wrath, it just went.
God, you
straight.
remember
No bueno.
You remember book names? That's fucking impressive, man.
I mean, we could say that my life is revolving around gaming most of the time. So.
Was Wrath the Colossals book?
Well, it was obviously called Colossals.
Oh, that's
it was one
right.
before Colossals.
That's right.
So here's the wall I did. I don't know how much good view you guys are going to get.
Oh, that's really good. That mortar in there looks amazing, man.
And the rocks came out really well with just like it's literally just a gray, the contrast gray, and then a highlight, and then a dry brush. I am very pleased with this.
You should be, man. That looks really good. Now, basically, all I'm doing here, guys, is the way I prepped this model up is I took Signar. I did the normal. I did a zenithal shading and priming, and I did. I sketched it up with some white ink to really bring the highlights up, and then what I did is I tried to do a kind of a where I took some very dilute Signar base and tried to do just a glazing on it. For some reason it didn't work terribly well. And so what I did then is I came over the top of it with some Gilliman blue and just to give it a little bit of a beef on it. And now what I'm doing is I'm coming back with Signar blue highlight just to pick up the highlights a little bit. Now I first started with a diluted version of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more of the highlight, and I need to look at my poster over here. Moro white. So I want to bring up the highlights a little bit higher. So I'm going to add a little bit of Moro white to it. I might actually just take a drop of white ink and put it in there and see what happens. Because I don't know.
White ink? White ink is his new all go-to. I like that.
I know. I love this stuff.
That's cool.
I love fucking with it.
I actually think I would have gone with started with like an Exile blue and gone with sort of like the old Magnus armor sort of color scheme. Dark blue to show not fully Signar.
I thought about that. And
I also like that color scheme a little better.
I thought about that, but then I thought, well, I have to work with the paints that I have, and I have the Exile blue. Ooh, that's way too white. So we're just going to do just a little bit of this just to make it even. But
so I realized, John, that you actually haven't seen a lot of this stuff because you don't go on the Book of Faces so much. So I got a million days of hobby streak, but here is my camo scheme I'm trying on my Legion dudes. Lots of strange colors to give a sort of alien world feel.
I like it, man.
With a gray and a red and this turquoise, which I like.
Very cool.
It looks different. I think that's going to be the most important part of it.
All right, so let's see what I can do with this. Still very white.
So to get everyone up, in the chat room we're talking about balancing War Machine of Hordes, and Talxar says that DC was the best balancer in War Machine of Hordes, and I would agree he probably was the best balancer. It was far from perfect. He let some things that were kind of egregious go because I think at some point the story to power level wasn't equal. They weren't all built equally. But I think that was a behind the scenes game decision, not a failure on their part. And I think he did a solid job. I mean, better than nowadays. Nowadays, I just don't even know anymore. Honestly, I haven't looked at a model's stats in probably a year and a half.
Yeah,
I tried last year to play some games, even with the guys just casually. But I mean, as soon as you start you have to put steamroller scenarios to play, and steamroller scenarios are too much for a casual guy. They don't want any of that.
yeah. I mean, it's to be honest with you, that's the reason I like Riot Quest as much as I do, is that it just eliminates all that nonsense.
It's honestly, it's why I like so many of the games I do play. Legion is a great game out of the box, and Fantasy Flight's taking a kind of light hand, trying to fix stuff here or there, not trying to go too far too fast. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is broken." Like, let it play out a little bit. Then Marvel Crisis Protocol, I think, is a very well balanced and fun game, and even more so if you like superheroes. I'm gonna hate to say this, and don't tell anyone I said this. I think probably Age of Sigmar and 40K are probably better games than War Machine right now.
Oh, I think they
Not
are.
so much for balance, but just for pure fun playability.
I don't think that War Machine and Hordes is necessarily playable right now.
Yeah, I mean I think if you're trying to play exactly what you want, a game that you can play super tight, competitively, almost chess with dice, it is probably the closest you're going to get. If that is your bag of tea, you're on. Go for it. If not, then I mean, it's okay. We let things go in life sometimes.
Yep. I'm super sad. I'll probably never play some of the models I have.
Yeah, but you know what? I have gotten to the point now where I can paint models because I want to paint models, and that's awesome. And I've got old models. It's cool. If I eventually find someone who's like, "Oh, I'm playing this game and I need some more models," I'll be like, "Let me help you out, dude. I don't need all this shit cluttering up my space. I haven't looked at it in forever.
Yeah.
Someone's getting joy out of it. That's all I care about."
Yep.
I decided yesterday. I was talking to a buddy, sort of related to a little bit of thing I was going to bring up. Got a guy in my Mech Warrior online unit, since I'm part of a unit, which is super cool, by the way. This is the way to play the game. If you can get in with a unit, just group people. I know I go on. There's someone in there playing, and I can make sure at least one person in the drop is not a moron.
Yep.
But he's in Canada. He's in Nova Scotia, and he's got like 18 months of paternity leave. And he says some people he talks to are, upset or jealous that he gets some paternity leave. I'm like, I'm not jealous. I am happy that your life is going well. My life does not have to go well for me to be happy that other people's life is going well. I can be happy for someone for getting what they get. I don't have to get the same thing.
No.
I think that's a key to internal happiness. And even in a game, if you like the game you're playing, it doesn't matter if the other game is getting all the toys. As long as you like what you're doing, it's all good.
Yep. And I think that is such a positive viewpoint. Just because, just be happy with what you have. Secondly, don't be jealous of what other people have. And so long as they're not a billionaire, fuck billionaires.
Yeah, some people, but is what it is. But it's as much as he's had controversy too, Louis C.K. said it best in one of his shows where you don't ever look to see what your neighbor has except to make sure he's got at least enough.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't have enough, you got to help him. If he has more than enough, that's fine. It's all good. You have to abide by your own code. Just because you're willing to give everything you can to other people doesn't mean everyone else has to. It's okay that they don't. Different people, like my ex-wife was super duper iffy on money, and we didn't donate too much because she was always worried we were going to be destitute. It bothered her. She had to go through bankruptcy once, so that bothered her. Always, kept her a little frugal with money for most of the time, which is fine. Other people don't care. They ride that line and, give what they can to other people. There's a person on Twitter I follow who needs a car. If I send $5 to her, maybe it helps her get her car.
Yep.
What's $5? Fuck, I won't eat out one night. I'll come home and have like some ramen or something, or whatever. I won't I stopped drinking Monster at work. I'll go skip the vending machine for a day or two. It'll be okay. Fuck, I'll skip a meal and help someone. Maybe I'll help someone get that thing that'll help them get on with their life. You know, it's just how I'm trying to live my life. I want to wake up each morning, walk into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and like who I see.
And I will tell you that while it may not, the universe may not turn your way on day one, the universe will find you, and will reward you for your being a quality human being.
Honestly, right now the universe is rewarding me by not fucking with me and my family. You know, we're all doing okay. We're not great necessarily. We're doing okay, and that's good enough. So it's something I love the people who need it. I got a person at work who's going through some hard times. I'm not going to share it because it's personal, and she'll never listen. But I got that stuff in confidence. Going to keep it. But it's hard times. I don't, you know, university sends some good vibes that person her way. She needs it. You know, I'm maintaining. It's all good.
Yep. Well, this looks better than it did when I started. I feel like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That highlight is definitely bringing it up.
So that's a good thing. So now what I need to do is I need to drop a little beef on the silvers. There's the silvers have not been beefed hard enough, and so they will now feel the touch of the brush. Since this is a short show, when do you want to do media section, buddy?
We can save it to the last 15 minutes. I don't have much to talk about. I'll be honest, I haven't really been super into the Clone Wars. I've been watching some episodes. What we said from the beginning is true. Whenever it's clone based, it's better than not.
I am going to have a couple of things to say about Ridley Scott as a human being, and not as much a human being, but as a director.
Fair enough. We'll get there. I did want to say that, John, well, you knew I played MechWarrior Online. That's pretty obvious.
Indeed.
I've mentioned I'm in a unit, Urbanomics 101. It's a super fun group of guys. You would like them because we're sort of hardcore casual about it.
Nice.
You know, we want to do our best. We'll play some of the stuff that's meta if we like it. We're actually playing in the competitive tournament.
Nice. Congratulations, buddy.
We're 11 games in. We're 0-11.
That doesn't matter.
Does not matter at all. We're having a good time. We've gone from a hot mess on comms to disciplined. We're giving people games, and not necessarily the games they expect. You know, they might come in expecting us to go and fight, and we just run and try and take objectives and do the best we can. We've had some good games, and I am pleased with where we're going. Our leader, who's not the leader of our unit, he's the leader of our competitive team, because he did all the work. The same gentleman, Senshin, who's from Nova Scotia. He is pleased with his performance leading us. He says, I need you to go there and do this. I go there and do that. It is fun sometimes to do that. It's a good change of pace.
Yep.
Because usually you're in a match and you can go, everyone focus this guy, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. You can say, go there, help with that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And this, if I say, this is clear, we need to take it, and he says, do it, people are doing it.
Yep, that's cool. You know, I will tell you, as a person who has to provide a lot of, not direction, I would say, but you know, suggestion and leadership at work, having someone else be able to take the helm occasionally is awful goddamn nice sometimes.
Yeah.
Being a follower when you're usually have all the leadership thrust upon you is all kinds of fun sometimes.
Yep. I'm the boss at work. That's why I don't be boss when we're playing if I can help it. Sometimes you got to. Sometimes I'm the man with the plan and I got to call it, so I call it. But no, it's fun. It's enjoyable. I love playing with the guys. Honestly, it's been a really good week for games. I stopped keeping track of my individual game performance because it was bringing me down. Because I'll be honest, September was not a good month for games for John. Well, I dropped an entire tier, which is impressive. But we're back to having games that are much more fun. I may not always be going up in my tier, which is, I don't really care. That's literally just an outside thing to make sure we're getting the right games, the right people who are approximately on your skill level.
Yep.
You know, people get all upset like, oh, I went down. Like, well, it all based on how well you did versus all the other players. If you did worse than half the other players, guess what? You're going down. Maybe equal if you did good within that area. It's the thing to say. Like, look, just because you got a good personal performance doesn't mean everyone didn't have a great game.
That's right. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about is
Yeah,
making sure
there's
everybody
a
has fun and there's lots of great games to be had.
there's a streamer I follow, Mini Slash, Mini Celeste. She is super cool. She plays MechWarrior Online sometimes. She had posted that she was upset that she played a game and she did 600 damage, which I would consider a very good amount.
Mm-hmm.
And she went down. And I'm like, well, do you have the after screen so I can see how everyone did? And I look, I'm like, you're the 13th best player by match score. I mean, it makes sense that she went down. I mean, it's unfortunate, but the algorithm's not broken. It's working as intended. Now, granted, you probably went down a minuscule amount because that was still a pretty good performance. But we voted, and this is the thing. They actually took what the fans said. They came up with an idea, and one of the players, Jay Z, he calls himself, um, said, "I like that, but I like this better." And he basically took theirs and changed it to a net sum zero like they wanted, and a little more even. And when we voted verbally on their forums, we voted pretty categorically for his version, his take on their idea. And so they're like, "Well, we're going to implement it,"
Nice.
which is awesome.
That is such a sign of a healthy game company when they're willing to listen to their people and take their suggestions.
Absolutely, and it's weird because I'm on a couple different discords with these guys, and some of the veteran players are, I mean, they're salty as fuck. I mean, if Trevor
Okay.
Christensen meant them, he'd be like, "Holy crap, these guys are salty."
And
It's an inside joke,
that guy's
but
salty.
he's a great dude. Don't anyone ever think I don't like Trevor. Trevor is a great dude.
Yep.
I'm happy for what he did for Machine. And he seems like a cool dude in general, but he is known for saltiness.
It's so funny because he is such a different dude. First off, Trevor would give you the shirt off his back in a red hot second. There's no
He seems
question
like the
about
guy
that.
who would.
Yep, no question about it. And we're down to 3 people. We're not being entertaining enough tonight. Um,
I mean, we got a little deep there in the beginning and get a little off topic, but
who
it is what it
cares?
is.
Who cares? We're
Plus,
doing.
I mean, we're doing this for us. Everyone else coming along, we're happy to have you, and we're
Yep.
happy you're enjoying it.
Yep. Um, that's a Greg's Earth Shade. That's not what I need. John,
But yeah, so they're a little negative. They're salty as crap. But I don't let that get me down. I'm like, whatever it is, whatever, guys. You bitch about it, but you still play the game. So
Yep. Where's my Reichland Flesh Shade, buddy?
I do not know. I see your gold there. Is it near your gold? I usually keep Reichland Shade near my gold.
I usually keep all my washy things over here, and oh, there it is.
There you go.
I got a few gold. I've got some bronzes in here. I have to beef.
Well, so John, I hear you're playing Squadrons, and that is a game I am going to consider at some point.
Yep.
Give me a quick capsule review. What you thinking?
So it is. It's got the worst user interface I've ever played.
Oh,
It is a brutal interface to get into the game and to form up your squadron and all that kind of stuff. However, I am here to tell you that that is worth every bit of effort you'll put into it. Game's money. It's fun. It rewards skill. It's you can the support class ships are fun to play. There's a progression system that's not based upon microtransactions. Again, it's based on playing the game. It seems like the matchmaking is pretty solid. When you play with 2 or 3 other people, it's great, and the game only costs $40.
I mean, that's not bad. I've spent more than that on MechWarrior Online. Not gonna lie.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about how much money I've spent on Crossout, a free to play game.
Yeah, well, the MechWarrior Online's free to play too. So
Yeah, so it's
oh, that guy's coming together.
yeah, he's coming together pretty good. He's on his way.
Talkstar, yeah, I'm sure Chain Attack's still around. Jay and those guys still doing it. I think they've branched out to more than just War Machine Hordes, but
Because they had to.
yeah, they had to. I mean, there's not enough people to support that anymore, but they're still there, and those are still very cool dudes in the community.
Yeah.
Wish them all the best.
I know they're doing a lot with. There's another miniatures game. I fucking don't even remember what the hell it was called.
Judgment.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. More power to. I think that's another Steam Forge game as well. Steam Forge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Um,
You're not wrong.
no, but I mean, if they pulled the plug on the franchise, and I mean,
Well, they went a little overboard, I think, on You even said it when you were trying to play. When you're trying to play, what the fuck is it called? Guild
Guild
Ball.
Ball, yeah, yeah.
That was just too much changing too quickly.
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Let's see.
I gotta put a little bit of
Us.
I can do a little something something on this yet. I know we're
No,
getting
it's
close.
not Steamforged. I don't know why I thought it was Steamforged, but it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't say what company it is. Let me see if I can find it. They got good models.
I see.
Oh shit! Veteran Dutch Judgment player David Wanke provides an excellent introduction to the game, explaining the easiest way to dive into the wonderful world of Judgment. David
Dave.
Wanke.
Yeah, Wonky Kong. So I know he was really into the game back in the day, but I haven't talked to Dave in a long old time.
That's cool that he's into it. I mean, it's cool. He was a good dude. He's a good dude.
He's
Is a good dude. He's still there. I can't see what company does it, but it looks cool. I mean, the models are very cool. They're bigger scale. If you're looking for something new, it might be just your thing. It's Gunmeister Games apparently.
Got okay.
They're probably looks like they're a new company. Oh, okay. These are names I know.
Okay.
Andrew Galea and Jeff Galea from Australia. Big War Machine Hordes players. I think they were actually big Warhammer players prior to. Also, names I recognize.
That's cool. I mean, I hope they're solid citizens.
Yeah, it's based off of MOBA Legionnaire, so it might not be for you. I'm sticking with Legion as probably my main game, with Marvel Crisis Protocol backing it up. Got some Malifaux hiding behind that, and then after that, I don't really. I mean, I've got Age of Sigmar and 40k as self-defense, because you might be called upon to play a game. Might as well have some models. I got a bunch of BattleTech models coming from their Kickstarter. That'll be cool. Maybe just paint them for fun. Maybe get to play some BattleTech tabletop. We'll see. Banyan, the roomie, is interested in BattleTech as well. We'll see if that goes better than every other game he's been interested in. And we tried to play together and got one game in maybe, and then that was it. Still want Star Wars Armada. Want to play more of that. Less desire to play X-Wing. I still have a shit ton of it. There was no point in getting rid of it. Like, there was a point where a guy was trying to look for damaged ships so he could turn into terrain and all, and he wasn't even interested in buying them off me at a super bargain price. I'm like, obviously you don't care, dude. And I don't care enough. What happened to Tara and Malifaux? I don't know. I'd have to read her new backstory, and I haven't gotten there yet. I think she's only Outcast now, not Outcast Reser. But there's a game that actually like kills characters and quote unquote retires them, where you can literally only play them in a certain format, and that's actually a cool feature. Legend of the Five Rings used to do that, the card game. Haven't played much of the new card game. I have the first couple sets, but didn't give me what I wanted from a card game. It takes too goddamn long. Like, if that's your thing, that's cool, but as cards being a secondary thing to your main hobbies, no longer Reser could be a problem. It is definitely a thing. It's I felt bad. There was a young lady who was just starting Malifaux down at Third Eye Games in Annapolis, and she played Nicodem, who was the classic Necromancer type, and Terra, and in Resers, and Nicodem is now dead, and Terra is now no longer a Reser. So I felt really bad for her, but they had to do some of that for balance. Terra had stupid amounts of ability to bring stuff. It was crazy. But in any case,
sorry, I'm not saying much. I'm trying to concentrate
no,
on not fucking this up.
It's all good. That's why there's two of us, so I can concentrate on talking. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm also interested to see some of these new games. I'm not buying a miniature game off the bat anymore. I'm waiting, let it feel around a little bit, see how it goes, because I think we're at that point. Doubly so in 2020, but just too many games out there. Too many good games. It's not like we're getting bad games. We're getting too many good games. Because let's be honest, Guild Ball was a good game.
It was a good game. I think it fell victim to. It became so single-minded in its competitiveness.
Yep. And that's not what they wanted, and that's where the players took it. And I understand blaming it on the players. To an extent, it is technically their fault, but you can't do that.
if you build a game that sets itself up for that, then you got nobody to blame but yourself. Don't blame the players.
Yep. That's why GW is trying so goddamn hard to keep Age of Sigmar and 40K non-competitive because they don't want that. They don't want what that brings. They want the guys playing it in their basement. Those are the guys who spend money. Those are the guys who have
Yep.
the most fun, to be honest, with that game.
I'm
To be
super.
honest, you know that those guys will have to play any game. You're not going to stop them. They'll find a game to play. It might as well be yours.
Yep. All right, so
I mean,
I'm just gonna touch these little. I'm doing so. Here's another reason why white ink is my new homeboy is that because it dries so slow, you can get away with doing kind of like what I just did with this Stormlance. Is I put a little bit of white ink on it and turned my brush nearly like 90 degrees to the surface and was just touching it so that it would not go down into the center part where I didn't want the color.
mm-hmm.
And as a result, I was able to because it didn't dry very fast, I was able to get all the way around the Stormlance and do a good job on all the surfaces and not have to go back in and you know how sometimes you can get that like extra googe of ink and then it's like, oh fuck, it's everywhere. And that didn't happen. So I'm really happy with it.
Yeah,
Very
he's
happy.
looking very good. Hey, Groovy, how's it going? And Talclar, yeah, it is. It's hard to keep a game going where you don't make models. It's I don't know. Like, I also didn't like where Guild Ball went with their models.
Nope.
Single piece models may seem like a good idea, but at that point you're playing a board game, and I think the game sports game was already taken by Blood Bowl. Spoiler: Blood Bowl is a better game.
Yeah. Yep.
It's simpler, and that I mean, like I say, keep it simple, stupid. There's something to be said for simple. And I know some games want to make their mark on the gaming industry, and sometimes they get bogged down and overly complicated. You want to know why BattleTech is still not a huge thing? It's because BattleTech is overly complicated. But now it's a feature, not a bug.
I got
Yeah.
just a little bit more to do on this, and then we're gonna turn it over to the media section.
Okay. Well, while you're finishing that up, I'll actually start. I'll just talk a little bit about. I mean, I've only been watching some Clone Wars. I got some more episodes. I'm definitely halfway through season 4. It's probably better than the last seasons, but as it gets better, the glaring flaws with the format and the desired audience become apparent.
Okay.
Uh, when you're talking about clone stuff, it's really good. Like the arc with I forget his name again, Pong Krell, the Jedi general who was going to betray them, and
Yep.
like it started off so good. The clone portions were moi, and then he turns into just a mustache twirling idiot villain. And I'm like, and you just shit all over this whole arc. Good job.
Yeah.
You couldn't even come up with a good thing, anything like that. I and then you go, and the next one is the slaver arc. I'm almost through, and it's they're making this one here is a original trilogy cast story they're trying to force upon the Clone Wars cast because Anakin is playing Han Solo and he's fucking terrible at it. Obi-Wan's being Luke, and Ahsoka's basically being Leia, and probably the only one who's actually living up to that at all. And then poor Captain Rex ends up being Chewbacca. And it's just not great. I mean, sure, you have Anakin flirting with the Queen, but you know nothing's going to happen. He's already married to Padme, and you know what's. It's a matter of the story content. Anyone who watched this after the third movie, which is everyone, knows that nothing's going to happen between Anakin and the Queen. You don't have any suspense in any of it, and that's the problem. That's why the clone stories are cool. Fives could die. I don't know. When it was coming out, Rex could die. I don't know. Now I know he doesn't die.
Yep.
but it's still like, oh shit, this could happen. That's why they're interesting characters. At the time, Ahsoka could die, and I'm sure Ahsoka turns out better, but right now she's barely a character.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I do
I mean,
feel you.
I think they, the way I hear it, and I'm going to be positive, that season 5 and 6, which are the two of the Netflix seasons,
Okay.
I think they do a lot of heavy lifting with their character there because they're not doing it here, but that's not what they're aiming for. I'm
Um,
basically upset with the series because it's not being what it's not trying to be, which is what I want it to be.
and you know, I it's been a minute or two since I've watched the Clone Wars all the way to the end. I'll be the first to admit it, but I do know that there's no character in the Star Wars universe that I love more than Ahsoka Tano. I,
I'm waiting to find that part.
I know that she is the embodiment of the hero's journey, as far as I'm concerned.
And I'm going to say this to you. I think the early seasons don't do her justice.
Yep. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm looking forward to Mandalorian second season so hard.
Oh, I mean,
Is is that I know Ahsoka's going to come, and I know that Ahsoka, where we left her, is, yeah, it's going okay. Ahsoka is grand as a whole. I agree.
yeah. I mean, I saw her show up in Rebels. I saw the first season of Rebels.
Yep.
Very pleased. I'm actually looking forward to
Damn.
going through Rebels when that comes out. I watched the first season. It did not feel as blatantly aimed directly at kids as this does. This is a little aimed at kids, and it hurts it sometimes. And when it gets dark, it's really, really out of place. You're like, what the fuck just happened? He's looking good. I like
I'm
him.
super happy with where he's at. Man, he sucked earlier tonight, and I'm much happier. All right.
See, I mean, the details.
So
It's
let's
just got the
talk.
details. The devil is in the details,
The
sir.
devil is in the details, and I should know that. I mean, how many years have we been doing this, buddy? How many years?
Absolutely.
So
Many years.
all right, so let's toss Ridley Scott underneath the bus as hard as fucking humanly possible. Fuck
Okay,
this
Ridley
guy.
Scott.
Fuck
Okay.
this guy. Fuck Ridley. Oh, hang. I need a fucking transition. You know I've been doing this for how long, and I still don't know how to hit the transition button.
You were getting on a rant, and I can appreciate that.
Fuck Ridley Scott and the horse he rode in on. So there was a time when Ridley Scott was actually a pretty. I feel like Ridley Scott suffers from the same bullshit that the Wachowski family deals with.
Okay.
Is that when you don't constrain an artist, I feel like there is when the truly great work comes when there are constraints.
Yes.
And because it forces you to be creative, and it forces you to really look at everything as, is this necessary? Is this something?
Look at Lucas.
Yeah,
George Lucas.
George Lucas. When you focus that energy, there can be greatness. There's a movie called Alien. It is a
Masterpiece.
masterwork. It is a masterwork. It does everything right. There is a show called Raised by Wolves.
Well, let me call up Gonzo. You usually hear this because Gonzo loves it.
That show can die in a fucking fire. It is masturbation on film. It is the purest example. Ridley Scott's got this thing, and it really showed itself starting in Prometheus. He's got a hard on for clouds coming over a hill. He's just it, and now it's in everything.
It's one thing if it's like, a camera angle thing, like Michael Bay. Michael Bay has got a hard on for a couple of camera angles, but he does it with different things in different movies, so it's not as smacky in the face.
This planet in Raised by Wolves has a pouring cloud over a mountain cliff thing all the fucking time. And Ridley Scott has gotten on this diatribe lately around, and I am no fan of any religion, and he has gotten into this weird thing where he has to dissect the religion versus atheist thing, and
Yep. It's tiresome, isn't it?
there's exactly one character in Raised by Wolves I like. His name is Father. He is an android,
Yep.
and father is charming, kind. He is a good entity, and he gets fucked every which way but Sunday, and comes back with a smile, and it's not fair, and and the character of mother is not she I mean she's a good actress. She plays wooden really fucking good, and I don't think I don't think any human is capable of acting as wooden as she is unless she's a good actress.
Is it Katie Sackhoff, that one?
It is not Katie Sackhoff.
What's her name?
Um,
I'll find out.
but
Don't you worry.
but the show takes if maybe Gonzo's caught up now.
Yes.
If he loves this show, if he still likes this show, then tell him I'm sorry, because
Oh, Amanda Collin? What do I know her from?
there's a build up in this show. I don't know how much to spoil on this, John.
Let's not. It's pretty new.
Okay, so one of my requirements is a universe that the physics are at least internally consistent. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the mother is an android. Mother can fly. Okay? Mother is an android. Mother can fly. Okay? She is a type of android that on Earth could fly. Okay?
Noted.
There is a thing that happens in this show, and it can fly. There is no version of consistent physics that allows that thing to fly. It is not a science. This is not a science fiction show anymore. It is a fantasy, and you don't bait and switch between genres halfway through the show.
That's dangerous.
Nope. It's fuck this show. I fought through it with Belinda for the first for the first season. I said, honey, I love you, but I'm hitting eject on the second season. I don't care. It's where I'm at with The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale may be the best art that ever fucking was, but it hits me too close to home. I can't watch it, so I'm gonna hit eject. This is just fucking dumb. To hell with Ridley Scott. May he never work again.
Yeah, I think his heyday is long since past.
Stop giving this jackass money.
Yeah, he's...
Honest to God. You know what?
Honestly, I also think that most of his stuff aside from Alien is slightly overrated. I like Blade Runner. I like the theatrical version of Blade Runner way more than any cut he did.
Why? Because he was constrained. He was forced by the studio to make it a film noir.
Which I love. I love the setting, and I think it fit.
It was perfect. That little bit of exposition, totally worth it. Totally worth it. Because it built the universe. It helped you into this is the reality that we had at that time.
It's why we like the David Lynch Dune. That mental voiceover is needed to keep us in the movie and not being what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So,
but yeah, constraints are important.
Yep.
With Wachowskis, that's why their best movies are, in my opinion, in order: Speed Racer,
yep,
V for Vendetta, and the first Matrix.
Interesting. I think.
I'm controversial.
I would rank that. I'm still the three movies are still the top three movies.
I mean,
The Matrix. The first time I saw it was the greatest. Holy shit! I didn't see that coming ever.
Absolutely.
And I think that is still my favorite, followed by Speed Racer.
Followed by V for Vendetta.
Oh my, yeah. I mean, Speed Racer is so underrated as a movie.
Yeah. It's a perfect movie.
The visual style is it's a come to life anime. It
Yep.
is beautiful, and it's self aware, and that's
Yeah.
and that's okay. In that movie, it's okay.
It's
to be
even
self-aware.
more serious than the cartoon was. The cartoon was actually more serious than people think, and it's a little head above that, just enough so it doesn't descend into oh, what is this shit?
Yep. Anyway, guys, the debate has started. I gotta hit the music. Press the button, Frank.
Press what, Frank?
All right. So here we are. We're going back to the face cam, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. We made good progress on this little shit. We're pretty happy about this. It looks less ass than it did when we started, which is great. I'm going to build a fire. I'm going to listen to Kamala Harris rip Pence's colon out. Good night, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll see you back here in a couple weeks. Love y'all.
Good night.
Be good. Fuck you, Ridley Scott.